Yo, what's going on, guys? Reversal here, and today I'll be doing a Ryu-Ge Dinosaur deck profile, and at the end I will show a one-card combo that the deck has, which is, in my opinion, the main reason why this engine has some viability in the Dinosaur deck. I think the Ryu cards have a lot of inherent issues with themselves, since like you have to play some bricks, it takes up a lot of space, so it's really weak to draw as well, which I'm not the biggest fan of this engine personally, but I wanted to still make a video about it and kind of show you guys what it's capable of doing, since one, it's a budget friendly option, since they did nuke the sinful list that I've been sharing the past couple months. So a lot of people have been asking about the Ryu stuff and just budget stuff in general. So this is going to be more of like your budget list. I'm not going to include the mulch armies or anything like that in here, since I know a lot of people don't have them. And this isn't a list that I'm personally going to be playing, because I am going to play a different version of Dinos, which I think is much better, but it's not budget friendly. But I'll share that later this week when I'm done testing the ratios more. But a lot of people were asking about the Ryu stuff in the deck, so I decided to make a video about it. We've been theorying a bit about it just for the purpose of making this video. So shout out to my guy Tengu, as always. He helped just kind of optimize a lot of the combos that we talked about. Some of which I'll show in probably a later video, but this is going to be more of like a just standardized like base list, and then I'll show the one card combo at the end. But before I get into the video, if you haven't subbed to the channel already, definitely do that now. Drop a like, comment, all that good stuff. It all helps me out. And if you're interested in this Dinosaur playmat or these sleeves, check out finalsaga.de. And if you decide to buy anything, use my code Reversal10 for 10% off your order. I'll leave a link in the description to their website. Check them out. But yeah, this deck list is 45 cards. The engine for the Ryu stuff takes up a lot of space, and there's a lot of cards you don't really want to draw, so going a little higher in the deck count's fine. Before I get into the actual list, I want to mention a couple cards that aren't in here that you could play, and you probably would want to maybe keep the deck count the same or up it a little bit. I don't know. There's maybe merit to go to like a 60 card pile of stuff potentially, since the Ryu engine's so big, but like I said, this list is just going to be like kind of like a base level. But I'm not playing the Xeno stuff in here. You could play this, but there's already so many cards you don't want to draw, so I didn't really want to have two more. But you could include these just because like the field spell does lock you into the same things that the Meteorus locks you into, so there's kind of like that inherent synergy there, I guess. But it's so many cards you don't want to draw at that point, so I don't know if it's really worth it, but these are definitely something you can consider. And then obviously if you play these, let me grab the boy, you'd play the Lars with it, obviously. But yeah, these are some things that you could play, but I'm just not playing in this list. And alternatively, if you're going to put like Ground Xeno in and stuff, you want to put the extra Petite in. I'm only playing one in the list. And then something a little more spicy that you could play, which I'll show the combos for this in a different video if you guys want to see it. But a way you can access the Ryu stuff through your standard 2-card Dino combo is to summon the Cola Silet off one of your babies. And then this card, it's just a tuner that you could make Herald of the Arclight with. And then when you link the Herald of the Arclight off, it lets you add a ritual, so you could add the Ryu guy, which like this is like the main one you want to see anyway. So this unlocks like the whole Ryu engine through your Dino combo, which is cool. But I didn't want to include it in this list just because like this is another card you don't want to draw because it really doesn't do anything. So, but this is how the best way that you can access the Ryu cards through your Dino cards, I think, since no matter what you do, you're gonna have to play an extra brick to do that. And then alternatively for that 2-card combo, this is another card that came up in that, which is, it's just a Link 3 Sea Serpent that you can make Reaperdocus, change something to a Sea Serpent if you need to. And then this just helps you link climb into a Link 4 that you use 2 cards that are the same type and attribute, so it can come up for that. But yeah, I'll show the 2-card combo with these at in a different video if you guys want to see that. But that's enough kind of talking about all the extra stuff. Let's just get right into the profile. So like I said, it's 45 cards, 1 misc, 3 OV standard. Misc just got announced in the next Bonanza set, which is cool, as a quarter century, so potential could come back on the next ban list, hopefully. 1 Archosaur. I'm still just playing 1, since you don't really need more than 1, and you could play another, but I don't think you need it. 3 Baby, 1 Petite, just kind of minimalizing it a bit. Just because you do have so much engine already, I wanted to fit in a reasonable amount of non-engine. And the Giant Rex, you play this one specifically over Kaito because it's an Earth in this build, so I usually say it doesn't matter which one you want to play, but in this list it does matter. You need to play Rex. And then 2 UCT. That's it for the Dino Monsters. Just for some more consistency stuff, you got Prosperity, 3 Fossil Dig, and then your 2 pills. Standard. Some people play 1 pill, but I feel like you can get away with 1 Archosaur. I don't really think 1 pill is a good idea though. Since if you draw the 1 pill, your combos are dead. If you draw the 1 Archo, you can still normal summon it and just combo that way. So, then for the Ryu stuff, you got 3 of the Ritual. So I'll kind of talk more about what these do when I show you the 1 card combo after this. And then 1 of the Dinosaur. You only play 1 of this because you're already playing a bunch of dinosaurs. 2 of the Worm, and then 2 of the Sea Serpent. So the Worm's not too bad to draw, since it technically can combo with Oviraptor. So it's a potential 2 card combo. It's not great to draw. And then its effect to search, this continuous spell is a macro, so like this card on its own isn't that bad. At least it does like something for you. The Sea Serpent is really bad. You never want to draw this card, but I'd love to just play 1 of like these, but if you only play 1 Sea Serpent, for example, and you open this as the 1 target, this whole engine is dead, because the field spell, you need to search, dump, and banish from your deck 1 of each, and if you don't have 1 of those targets, you just can't use like any of this stuff. So I feel like you kind of have to play multiple targets if you don't want this whole engine to just be dead. Unless you're playing like a very minimal package, then you could probably get away with it, but I'm playing more of a heavy package. But there's 3 of the Ryu-Ge Rising, which is just a searcher. This is just more copies to see the Ritual guy. You want to play at least 1 of these, because in the 1 card combo you do end up searching this, so it's important to have at least 1. But you really want to see the Ritual for these for this engine, because this is what kind of does everything for you. And then this is the other continuous spell that you can search. And this one gives your level 10 and higher dinosaurs a monster negate, which is pretty cool. So it gives Conductor a monster negate. So yeah, it's really nice, I guess, sometimes. But that's it for the Ryu engine. This also gives the Pendulum a negate too if you end on this. So if you end on like the Pendulum and Conductor, you have 2 monster negates. For the non-engine, playing Call By, 2 Talents. These are like your more defensive cards. And Talents is pretty good going second this format as well, into like Detonator. We got 3 Ash, another like more defensive card since it can hit Fualos, but it's just a decent card in general. And I'm just playing more hand traps. Went with 2 Ogre, since this is good to hit Duo Drive, and it's pretty good against Malice to either the Link 5 or just any Link 2. Getting the body off field is pretty impactful. 2 Nib, since it's pretty good against Malice, and it's not bad against Ryu if you pair it. And then 3 Imperm, just a good generic card. You can use it as your 6th card too to hit like detonators and stuff. It's pretty solid. But the non-engine, you can really play like whatever you want. You could play some more breakers as well instead. But there's just some more like generic options to kind of cover Malice equally to Ryu, since if you just play breakers, they're not that good into Malice. So if you're playing like the Ogres and the Nibs, those are a little better into that matchup. So that's it for the main deck. For the extra deck links, we got Anima, SP, Reaperdocus. The Reaperdocus is important, even though you're not playing the Xeno stuff, because you do change to types and attributes in some of the combos. Ryu-Ge is the rank 10 that you summon mainly. You could potentially play 2 of these as well. I'm not sure if the second one really is necessary, but just decided to include one since I only have one anyway. Then some other rank 4s. We got Laggy, Adolka, Dweller, Baguska for Shifter. This is like one of the flex spots. A couple of other flex slots are Typhon and Aggregator. This is for Slayer in the side if you side it. If you don't side, you don't need to play this, obviously. And then some other flex cards you could potentially play is like an access code, like Nightmares Package or Pentastag Dugaris. And then last 4, these cards I'm proxying because I don't have them, but it's Galaxy Eyes Cypher X, Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon, Galaxy Eyes Cypher Blade Dragon. These are here because the Cypher X you can overlay over 2 level 10s, and then you could detach 2 just to get the materials engraved, but it makes your lights can't be targeted for like until the next turn, end of the next turn or something like that. And then you get to overlay this one for free, and then you get to overlay this one for free. And then this one lets you pop a card on the field, so you can pop your own baby and keep going that way. Then the last card is the Darkness Metal, the Dragon of Dark Steel. You make this, it's a link 4. You make it with 2 effect monsters that have the same type and attribute. So you end up making this since you can make it under the field spell lock. Same thing with all these are all dragons. And then you can summon back Mist from Banish, so it helps you make a rank 4, which you do end up with an extra level 4 body anyway, so that's not too important. But it gets Mist back in rotation, so you have some follow-up, which is good because having follow-up is always good. But the extra deck's pretty flexible. You have a lot of like free slots you could use for whatever you really want to. Like if you want to play like some more steel cards potentially in like the side, you could throw like a Zeus in there or something. Instead of Nightmares, Access Code, Dugaris, Pentastag. There's a bunch of random stuff you could play. Then side deck, I'm just going to give you like a whole bunch of cards that you could potentially play. Starting off with the ones that I'm kind of including in most decks right now is like a thrust package of 3 thrust and a duster to go with the talents that's already in the main deck. And then playing the 1 D barrier and the 1 Karma Cannon. I think this is better than just playing like 3D barrier or something like that. Because this card's like, it's good against Pure Ryzeal. It's okay against the Fiendsmith version, but I think that's the better version. And you can still do all the Fiendsmith stuff under that. So I think you just play 1, just play a bunch of thrusts. Because there's so many hand traps in the format too. And then Karma Cannon hits a bunch of matchups. I think it's better than like Sanctum. Like people are using for Malice. You could just use this against Malice and not waste a Sanctum slot. That's only good against like 1 deck. Then Slayer I think is really good. And then Droplet's another one that you could consider if you just want to side some more breakers. Then there's some other hand traps you could play. I think Magnuma and Druisworm are pretty good for Fiendsmith. And then another cool thing about Magnuma is it can search any dragon, so you can just search the Pendulum as well. Which I don't think this engine's that great going second, because like if something gets popped, it just kind of stops everything, but something that's there. Troll's another one that's decent. You can play more Nib. I think for Malice, you could play Ghost Spell, or you could play Lancius. It just kind of depends. Obviously, Lancia is better, but Ghost Spell can hit a lot more decks, so it's more like, you know, flexible. And then there's like the bootleg Mulch Army. I think Phantasma is pretty good as well right now, especially against, what's it called, Malice. It's not bad against like the Fiendsmith version of Ryzeal, and just Fiendsmith in general. So I think these are all like just good cards. You could potentially play any of these. They're all pretty cheap, I think, except for maybe Droplets, like $7. I don't know if it's still that much, but and the Bystials, I think Druisworm's still like $10 or something maybe, but like I said, there's a bunch of options here. You could just play whatever. Alright, so now I'll show you guys how to do the 1-card combo that ends on 7 disruptions. And all you need for this combo is just the ritual. And since you're playing 3 of the searcher that can search this, and then prosperity, you have plenty of ways to get to it. So for the sake of the combo, just do the 1 ritual, and it doesn't matter what else you have in hand. This combo doesn't require any discards or anything either. So to start it off, you are going to put the pendulum in the pen scale, And its effect lets you, during the main phase, add a non-pendulum Ryu-Ge card from your deck, and then it destroys this card. So we're going to add the field spell, and then this is going to destroy itself and go to the face-up extra zone, which is important for the second effect of the field spell. So then we're going to activate the field spell, and when this card's activated, you take a Dino, Sea Serpent, and a Worm from your deck, and then you add one to your hand, you banish one, and then you send the other to the grave, and then you're locked out of special summoning for the rest of the turn out of anything that's not a dragon, dinosaur, sea serpent, or worm. So it's the same as the Meteorus lock, except it's not just the extra deck, it's all monsters. So for this, we're going to add the Ovi, we're going to banish the sea serpent, and we're going to dump the worm. And then you can use the second effect of the field spell now, since you have the ritual face up in the extra deck. It's going to allow you to special 3 Ryu-Ge monsters with different types, one from your deck, one from your grave, and one from banish. So we already have the one from grave here, we have the one from banish here, and then we're going to get the one from deck. So after that, we can go into the Galaxy Eyes. So we're going to use these two to go into the Cypher X. This one just takes 2 level 10s, and then its effect, you can detach 2 to make your lights untargetable until the end of the next turn, which doesn't really matter, but you need these 2 in the grave, so that's why we're doing that. And then you get to just overlay into the full armor photon, and then it doesn't do anything, you're just overlaying it so you can overlay into these Galaxy Eyes Cypher Blade Dragon. And this one is a detached one to pop a card, which we're going to use to pop a baby in a sec. But first, I'm going to normal summon Ovi, use its effect, and add Misk. Then I'm going to use the Misk effect, and then banish itself, plus the level 10 Dino. And then we're going to summon a baby from deck. So here we're going to use the Galaxy Eyes Cypher Blade Dragon to detach, pop the baby. We're not going to trigger the ritual yet. Then the baby's going to summon another baby. And then now you're going to use the Ovi effect to pop this baby and bring back the other baby. You want to do this right here. It's important to leave one of your zones under the extra monster zone open for the Archosaur. So after you pop this, bring this back, your baby's going to be chain 1, and the ritual is going to be chain 2. And what this one does is when a card is destroyed by a card effect or battle and it's in your extra deck face up, you contribute a level 10 Ryu-Ge monster, and if you do, special summon this card and treat it as a ritual summon, and then you could pop up to 2 cards you control. And if you do, you place that many Ryu-Ge continuous spells from your deck to your field. So we're going to do that. This is going to come out, we're going to tribute this, and then this all resolves before the baby, so you're going to choose to pop the baby in the field spell. And that's going to place you these 2. And then your other baby that is still resolving is going to summon baby. And then now, on the resolution of that, the baby you popped with the Mistva is going to trigger, and you're going to summon Archosaur, specifically under an extra monster zone. And you're going to use this effect to pop the baby and add Pill. And then we're going to summon Giant Rex. So from here, we're going to use the Sea Serpent in the grave. What this one lets you do, if when it's in your grave, or it doesn't have to be like in your grave when it happens, but during the main phase, if 2 or more monsters were sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard this turn, except for itself, you can special summon this card from your grave for free. So we're going to do that. And alternatively, when we started the turn with the field spell, we dumped the worm, and then when Ovi added Misk, that was the second from hand to grave, so that condition was met a long time ago. And then we're going to overlay these 2 into a Varudras, because these are both level 10s. So from here, we're going to link off the Rex and the Cipher Blade for Reproducus, and then we're going to use Reproducus to make Archosaur and Earth, which you'll see why that's important very soon and why playing Giant Rex instead of Kaito matters in this build. So from here, you can use your pill. It's going to banish the Rex and whatever non-dino. You could banish the worm one if you want, since this one can come back in a grind game potentially, because it has the effect that if two cards are banished in addition to itself, when another card gets banished, it can come back, so that could maybe come up. The Rex is going to come back, and then you're going to summon your Conductor from deck. And then now you have 1 Earth Dino, 2 Earth Dino, 3 Earth Dino, and this is a link 2. So you can link all 3 of these off into the Darkness Metal, the Dragon of Dark Steel. And this one's a link 4 that you need 2+ effect monsters with the same type and attribute, so that's why you wanted to get the arts to be able to do that. And this just lets you summon from banished your Misk back. So now that's back in rotation, so you have follow-up. And then you can overlay these 2 for Dolka. And this is going to be your end board. I didn't talk about the 2 continuous spells yet, so I'll go over those real quick. The Dino one is basically, it just gives Conductor a monster negate that's on the field. So it says once per turn, when an effect of a monster on the field with less attack than this card is activated, you can place 1 Ryu-Ge continuous spell you control at the bottom of the deck to negate the activation. So Conductor's 3,500, so pretty much everything is less than that. So if you want to use that, you put this back, and then this is a monster negate. This one is a Macrocosmos for monsters on the field only during your opponent's turn. So that's pretty helpful against some decks for sure. And it has another effect once per turn. Quick effect, you can place a Ryu-Ge continuous spell you control at the bottom of the deck, and then target 1 face-up monster on the field, its attack becomes 0. So that can potentially be helpful as well. So that's like an extra interruption I didn't really even factor in. So it's technically 8 disruptions, if we're being honest, which is, makes it even better. And then the Conductor is a Book of Eclipse. The Dolka is 2 monster negate and destroys. The Virudras is a Omni negate. And then something else that you can potentially do is, if you use the Virudras early on, you don't really want to do that, but if they force it out early, you can use Conductor to pop this whenever you want. And then when you Book of Eclipse their field, this card, when it's destroyed, also gets to pop a card. So whether you trigger it off the Conductor or if they just have to destroy it through their turn somehow, you're getting another pop off that. So, and then through all this, you also recycle your Misk, so you have follow-up for next turn as well. So off just 1 card, you have the Book of Eclipse, just 1 disruption, 2 monster negate and destroys, that's 3. Aeon negate, that's 4. This is destroyed, you get another pop, that's 5. The Dino Continuous gives this a negate, so that's 6 disruptions. Then this is a Macrocosmos for your opponent's turn. On field cards, get banished instead. So that's 7, and then its other effect, during their turn, you put this back and make something on their field 0 attack, which can be relevant for any number of reasons. Typhon is one I can think of that would come up. So you have 8 disruptions off 1 card. So it's pretty powerful. It's the only real reason why I think the Ryu-Ge cards have any merit, but it's pretty cool what you can do with 1 card in this deck if you ignore the other problems with it. So it's something cool that you can mess around with. I'll probably end up showing some other combos at some point, but this was the main one I really wanted to get out there. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed, and all the people that were asking for Ryu-Ge dinosaurs are happy. And thanks for watching. Peace.